and center pivot. Move it down. And grab the top and bottom. Surface is loft. And again, just insert some isoparams. So we have something like that. And that's pretty much how our car is going to work. Just see a little bit of a indent there. And just pull out our windshield. I'm not going to worry about anything inside the car now until I get the body pretty much the way that I want. So now what we can do is we're going to save this as part 2. And we're going to start converting into a polygon so that we can start cutting out areas and attaching areas so that we get a nice clean look and a nice clean fit. So the first thing we're going to convert into a polygon is our side. So we're going to grab the side, we're going to go to Modify, we're going to go Convert, and we're going to go Polygon, or NURBS, excuse me, NURBS to Polygons, option box. You're going to make sure that Control Points is selected. Once that's done, I'm going to hit Apply, and you should see that our NURBS change into a poly. And we're just going to pull the poly out of the way and delete the old NURBS. And then just move our polygon back into position. So right about here. And remember that other piece that we made at the beginning of this section that is going to get connected to this at some point. So now what we can do is we can rough out in our side view where the wheel well will be. And to do that, what we're going to do is use a couple new tools just so that we can kind of get into the center of our wheel so that we'll have a nice arc. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut it up just a little bit. So we're going to go Edit NURBS, or Edit Polygons actually, and we're going to go Split Polygon tool. And we're going to grab the top here, and we're going to use our little icon here to draw some straight lines. And now I'll show you another tool that makes things a little bit easier as well. Kind of right down in the middle of where our car wheel well will be. And we'll just move this down. And we're going to move this back just a little bit for now and move this over. Just try to get it into the center there. And same with this little guy, he's going to go in the center. So we have something like that. And this kind of move to where the wheel well will start. Same with this guy. And this guy will move back just a little. And same with this little guy. Now we can grab our Split Polygon tool again. And starting here, we're going to start following the contour of the wheel well, or as closely as we can. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. As long as it's close, it should work fine. And we'll clean up the geometry after that. And once you've done that, what we're going to do is going to grab the faces and we're going to actually delete by right-clicking. This is polygons now, so it's going to look a little bit different. You can right-click and select face, and then you can select them when they turn blue and just hit delete. Like so. Now, with polygons, you want to make sure that we have a close curve or a set of curves or lines around the wheel well. So when we put a polygon smooth on there, it'll become nice and round for us. So we're going to repeat the process that we just did, but this time we're going to make kind of like an outer circle. See how we're kind of going around? Like that. And it's important to know if you happen to make a mistake, say you are drawing your line and you happen to go over here, you can't just hit Z to undo. You actually have to hit delete when you're using split polygon tool. So that's something to be aware of. So we're just going to hit delete and we'll continue. That's just in case that happens to you, so you don't panic. And once we've done that, we'll hit enter, right click, and we're going to delete this edge right here. And see how much nicer this is starting to look? Now we're going to fix up this area here a little bit by going straight up into that section there, just so that we get a nice almost 45-degree angle, and it's not going to push or stretch into there for now. And this will change. It'll always change a lot. Now we're going to do another new process called merge vertices. We're going to right click, select vertex, select the two vertex we want to merge, and we're going to go edit polygons, merge vertices, option box. Now I keep mine really high. The default is like 0.1, so it all really depends. The higher you have it means the farther apart they can be to merge. So I'm just going to hit apply, and you can see how it kind of just merges up. And I'm going to grab these two and hit apply, or hit G to repeat last command. Now I'm going to do a little trick here just to help merge these guys up a little bit, or help get them a little bit more straight. So I'm just going to grab these two and then these two, and you can see how they start straightening up. That way the wheel well will be nice and straight for us when we test it out. Now the other important thing to remember when you're working with polygons is you want to try to keep as many quads as you can, and that means four-sided faces. Now you don't have to always have four-sided faces. You're always going to have a 3 somewhere, because the shape that you're trying to achieve just won't happen unless you use a 3 sometimes. But for the majority of my work, I like to try to keep as many quads as I can. So I'm just going to get rid of the 2 3-sided faces that we see there and hit enter. And then now I can come across up top here. And you see how nice and clean the geometry is starting to get. So what we need to do is just repeat that on the back here before we end that section. And in the next section we'll get into some converting into subdivisions to help us shape even more. And we'll get that front area that we add, that little extra part, we'll get that all combined. And then the car will really start taking shape after that, if all goes well. So this is all just the pre-stage, pretty much, getting everything and all the shapes that we need on. And again, we're just going to do that little scale trick just so that they are nice and straight for us. And we're just going to make these 4. Now this side is going to get cut up quite a bit, because if you look at it, we have a lot of things we got to add in the coming sections. We got to cut out the door and this little indent here and the circle, as well as where the headlights are going to be. But for now, that's pretty good. And as you can see, even though it's really boxy, we're getting the basic shape that you see here in our image plane. So again, I think that'll do it for this section. In the next section, we'll just keep continuing and seeing how far we get. And I hope everybody's doing okay and is learning a lot. So I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.